Hi everybody, this is Rob Hirons, and I'd just like to give you a little insight into some different concepts and approaches that we can use when we're creating drum fills that include the bass drum. Now, you are allowed to include the bass drum in drum fills. Okay, you know when you're going through the drumming career, quite early on in your career, you're playing the groove here and you get to the fill, the bit we all want to do, and out come the hands and the bass drum tends to get forgotten. And then one day we have this enormous revelation that we can actually include some bass drum in our fills. So the first thing we tend to do is to develop some hand and foot coordination exercises, some figures, usually something along the lines of right, left, foot, foot, right, left, foot, foot, right, left, foot, foot, and so on. Played on the snare and the bass drum, and then eventually we'll start to play it around the kit. Right, left, foot, foot, right, left, foot, foot, right, left, foot, foot, right, left, foot, foot, and so on like that. And then as we gain experience, we're able to improvise something like a one-bar drum fill that uses both our hands and feet. And of course we have to develop hand-foot coordination to make these fills sound smooth and precise. So let me give you an idea of something like that. I'm going to play a 4-bar phrase. There'll be 3 bars of groove, and then I'll play a 1-bar drum fill that will include a phrase between the snare drum with the hands and the foot on the bass drum. So we take something like that, our snare drum, bass drum, hands, foot fill, and we can apply it then around the toms. That will be the next stage, okay, to orchestrate it around the kit. So I'll use the same sticking pattern and I'll orchestrate around the different elements of the drum kit. So that will probably be the logical development, the logical progression that you'll go through when you're creating a fill like that between the hands and the feet. Play the groove, then you'll play the fill on the snare and the bass drum, and then when you're comfortable with that, we'll probably start orchestrating it around the kit, and that will give you a kind of gospel chop style fill sound that we're hearing so often today. But you know, one thing that you might neglect is to just simply stay where you are. Now this is an interesting concept, and again one that a lot of gospel chop style drummers use. So what do I mean by stay where you are? Well, where are you? Well, you're playing your groove, so your right hand is on the hi-hat, left hand on the snare drum, and of course there's a bass drum in there as well. So let's take the same sticking pattern that I've just played on the snare drum and around the toms, and I'm going to stay where I am with the same sticking pattern, and we're going to hear what that sounds like. So there it is, a different approach. We started off by playing this pattern between the snare and the bass drum with the hands just playing the snare drum. Then we developed it by orchestrating it around the drum set on the different elements. But don't neglect other possibilities, other sound ideas, other approaches, like for example just to stay where you are. We're already here playing our groove. We do the same pattern between our hands and feet using hand and foot coordination just by staying on the elements we're already using in our groove, and that alone is a great example of creativity when you're playing fills that include the bass drum.